Courtney. The next question is for you, and the topic is struggles as a Black woman in corporate America. Black women in particular are hyper aware of how they are perceived at work by both peers and superiors. The Black Woman at Work study found that 80% of Black women felt they needed to adjust their personalities to get ahead in their career. And 57% of Black women agree that they would have to look a certain way to be promoted. My question for you is, how did you overcome this and navigate your workspace to become successful in your career? How did you safeguard your mental health throughout your career when faced with adversity and microaggressions? And what advice would you give to Black women with goals to be on the executive leadership team, aka the C-suite?
Powerful stuff. All right. So how did I overcome this and navigate the workspace to be successful in my career? As Gary mentioned, we all know there's adversity out there, right? I think the key is to be strong, be confident, right? Like, we should all be our own best cheerleader, right? And that's the thing too, especially when you get to the higher level roles, you're expected to be assertive and confident, and a lot of times when you lack that confidence, it'll show. And unfortunately, there are people in the world that will exploit that. You could be in a meeting, they'll see you like get a little shook up, and that's just the world we live in. So the way I overcame it, I was just really confident in my stuff. Like I said, I had a strong background in IT, so I had that foundation to back me up. So I had the hands-on experience in addition to, the college and everything. I wanted to check as many boxes as possible. I didn't want to just be in one area and say, oh, I just have a master's, so that means I'm great at this. I wanted to actually have the experience to go with it. And that actually helped me a lot with my confidence, and then just the way I portrayed myself and came across in the meetings. And the other thing, successful in your career, set goals, right? I didn't think this was as important early on. I've just always been super ambitious. So I'm just like, whatever job I have, I'm going to crush it and I'm going to move on. But I never really had like set goals, set deadlines and timelines for things. And I think that's important. Not just to, hang over your head, but I think it's important to measure your progress. And I think oftentimes, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for what we're doing every day. And I think by measuring those things, it just helps. Okay. Yeah, I think by doing those things, that definitely helps. How do I safeguard mental health throughout a career when faced with adversity and microaggressions? I'm with Gary. I cried too. I am not gonna lie. Like, it's not easy though, right? Like, I told you guys, I started off that like literally held every possible position in IT. And I'm sure you've all heard of imposter syndrome. Like, I prepared for where I was going in my career, but I didn't feel worthy of it. I didn't feel like I was good enough. So sometimes when I was presented with that, I would let people kind of get to me a little bit. I mean, we're human, right? So I did it. But you know what? It comes back to what I said, being strong and being confident, being your own best cheerleader, and just knowing that whatever you're doing for a reason, and you worked hard for it. I can say no one handed me anything. I literally earned every promotion. I put in the work, whether that meant staying late, coming in early, shadowing people so that I can get my own experience, building my own lab so I can get my own experience. That helped me a lot throughout my career, just with being successful and then my mental health. The other thing is get a hobby, right? For many years, I was so focused on my career. And it really hit me when COVID hit. I'm like, I don't have any hobbies. It's like I'm always working and so serious. And my family isn't a hobby. That's my family. But I mean like personal hobbies. Things you can do to kind of separate yourself from what's going on day to day. And that's why I ride my motorcycle now. I love my Can-Am. It's a great way to start my day before I jump into any meetings. A lot of mornings, I'll just go for like a 30-minute ride, clear my head. I can't sing, but I have speakers on it, so the music's blasting, and I'm singing down the road, because I don't care if people hear me, they don't know who I am anyway, but it just helps to have an outlet. And the final point, what advice would I give Black women with goals to be on the executive leadership team, C-suite? I'm going to go back to that goal setting, but I'm going to go a step further and say build a roadmap, right? Like, I used to think it was kind of corny when people were like, where do you want to be, or where do you see yourself in 5 years? I used to think that was corny, seriously, but it's a legitimate question. Because I would go a step further, not only where you see yourself, okay, but how do you plan to get there? You can't stay in your same role now and expect to be a C-suite executive in 5 years. What steps are you going to take between now and then to get there? And map it out. There could be, certain roles you have to hit in between, map those out. If you see someone in the company that you work at, talk to them, find out what path they took. If you see someone on LinkedIn and they're doing great, find out what path they took. Get advice from people. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Talk to people that you consider to be successful and where you want to be, and try to mirror that. And put your own twist on it, of course. Yeah, that's my advice.
Awesome advice. I think that you're a huge inspiration, especially to me, your journey, and I just appreciate all of that. I'm just soaking it in. I need to figure out what my hobby is. I need to figure out my hobby now.